A lot of good calls tonight, huh?
Yeah, that's great.
There we go.
I love hearing stories too, man. Listening to everybody's stories, it makes me feel a little bit better that I'm like not the only one that deals with this crap.
Yeah, that's a huge part of what I'm doing here is because so many people, they're like they think they're going crazy or they have nobody to talk to, and then, um, we want to be that place where you can come and hear that and talk about it and know that you're not
Yeah,
crazy, you're not alone.
right.
So
Um, yeah, it's great. I do believe it is really good to talk about this, and especially with other people that uh, have this phenomenon happening. Like I've had so much happen within the past, well, 2 years. It's been really chaotic. But I'd say about what was it, 9 years ago? I think it started with the bizarre 9 years ago. I don't know if you want me to just jump into it or whatever, but
no, yeah, whatever you think's the way you want to tell
okay.
it. Yeah, yeah.
So like 9 years ago, I was working, and I know some people have heard this story, but a lot haven't, and this is really really bizarre. I was out working. I was working during the day at this time, and I was on route. I drive a semi for work, and I happened to I was doing a route for somebody else, so I had no idea where I was going. That day I just entered the stops in my GPS, and I got to the middle of the route, and I'm like, oh man, I have to stop. I have to pull over to the gas station and get some stuff and whatever. So I go in the gas station, I come out, and there's this guy walking straight up to me, and he was wearing a black, almost like a black suit, white T-shirt, black tie, and black pants, dress shoes, and he was carrying a briefcase. And he walks right up to me, stops, dead in front of me, and he says, "I need to talk to you." And I'm like, "Okay," and I have no idea where I'm at.
Right.
Right? I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I'm like, "Who the heck would know me?" Right? I said, "Listen, man, I don't have time for this right now. I gotta go." And he says, "No, we need to talk." And I said, "No, seriously." I said, "You see my truck over there? I got these deliveries to do. People need their stuff. I gotta go." And he says, um, "Doug, listen, I need to talk to you." And I'm like, "What?" I'm like, I said, "Listen, I'll be at the bar on Friday." This was on a Tuesday. I said, "I'll be at the bar on Friday, 9 o'clock. Why don't you meet me there? I'll have plenty of time to talk to you." And he says, "Okay." He turns around, walks away, and walk up to my truck and get the rest of my route done. And I'm like, the whole time I'm thinking, who is this guy, right? And I don't even know what town I'm in, let alone anybody out here. Well, Friday rolls around, and I go to the bar, and I get there at like 8:50 or something like that. I sit at a booth, and I'm watching my watch, and 9 o'clock rolls around. All of a sudden, I hear the door swing open. I look over at the door. There's the same guy wearing the hat and suit, black tie, and get the briefcase. He comes, sits at my table, puts his briefcase on the table. Didn't open it yet. And I said, "I'm surprised you made it." He says, "Oh yeah, yeah." And then the waitress comes by, and she says, "Oh, do you guys want something to drink?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll take beer." And I'm like, "What do you want?" And he says, "Oh, nothing." And the girl's like, "Okay," and she kind of walked away. And so the guy's sitting there at the booth. He's right across from me. And so I'm like, "What's this about?" And he goes, "Oh, I have something to tell you." And I'm like, "Okay." Well, at this time, I just got a divorce, and everything was kind of, it was real chaotic, and I didn't know where my life was going. It felt like my world was coming to an end and all that stuff, and I just didn't care about anything anymore. And so I'm trying to talk to this guy. I'm like, so, because he wasn't talking. So I said, so what do you do? You know, what hobbies do you like to do or whatever? And he says, oh, I used to mountain climb. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what else do you do besides that? And he says, oh, I used to race cars. I'm like, okay. And then I said, so what kind of work do you do? And he just didn't answer me. And I said, so what else do you like to do? And he says, oh, I like to, go kayaking and, like on the rapids and stuff like that. He said, that's pretty exciting. And he didn't really have any excitement when he was talking. I'm like, okay. I'm like, so, and then I forget what I said. I said something else. And it was kind of a joke. And then he says, well, that's why everybody likes you, isn't it? Because you're always funny. I'm like, I don't know, am I? And then he just kind of went, like, okay. I'm like, so what's this about, right? He says, okay, well, let me see here. So he opens up his briefcase, and he had, like, this ream of paper. Like, it was a full ream of paper. He's sitting there paging through it. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of taking forever. I look down at my beer. It's about, almost gone or whatever. I'm like, okay. I'm like, are you having a hard time finding what you're looking for there? He says, oh, it's here somewhere. I'm like, all right. So he's paging through it again, and I was trying to think of something else to ask him. Like, I was kind of running out of stuff, And at one point, he kind of turned his briefcase a little bit, and I swear to God, all the papers that were in the briefcase were blank. I mean, I didn't see any writing on them, nothing. And I go, it almost looks like, and then he goes, listen, what I got to tell you is, he says, I know things are rough right now. Things are pretty bad. But he says, you know what? Things are going to change. It'll get better. He says, you're going to meet somebody in the future here, in the near future. You're going to get married, and you're going to have a kid. And I'm like, I just got through a divorce, buddy. That's the last thing on my mind right now, right?
Right.
And he says, it'll happen. He looked at me dead in the eyes and he says, it'll happen. And I'm like, get out of here, right? And I'm kind of sitting back. I'm like, whatever, man. And then all of a sudden the waitress comes by again. And I'm like, and she's like, do you guys need something else? And I'm like, yes. I'm like, I can't figure out who this guy is or anything. I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm like, yes, please, can I have a beer? And then she's like, yeah, sure. And then I said, can you come here a second? Just come here. To her ear. I just went, come here. Try to get her to come down. And she actually moved her head down to me. And I said, do you see him right now? I want to make sure I'm not crazy, but do you see this guy sitting across from me? And she goes, well, yeah, but he's gone. And I'm like, what? So then I turn my head to face forward. The guy is gone. Like, the door's not swinging shut. I mean, the door was a good, I don't know, maybe 100 yards away from the booth or whatever. So you'd actually see him get up and walk out. And the guy was freaking gone, man. I mean, gone. Like, disappeared. Like, I forget what's his name. The guy that played in the Ghostbusters, he was talking about the Men in Black car that disappeared right in front of him, right? Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd, yeah.
Dan Aykroyd said that. Yeah, he has that story of the Men in Black car disappearing right in front of him. Like, he said he'd see the car go by. That's exactly what happened with this guy. And I'm like, I go to the waitress, I go, where'd he go? And then she goes, she put her hands up and she walked away from the table. I never saw her again. I went back to my table to refill my drink. And I'm like, all right, I'm out of here, man. This is crazy. So that's basically where it started. I mean, I have no idea who the guy was. I mean, What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, that's nuts, dude. I remember you told that on
And I
the last show we did there, didn't we? Or the other, not, it was a while ago, but still. Wait, so he had did he have all the stuff out of the suitcase? I mean, the briefcase, and then he just
no,
disappeared and everything was gone? Or it was just like he was
no,
looking
no, no.
through it while it was still in the
He
briefcase?
left the papers in the briefcase. Like he had it flipped open towards him, and then I could
Alright.
just see like a little corner of all the papers.
Yeah.
But like I said, it looked like he just took like a brand new ream of paper, took it out of the wrapper, and stuck it in the briefcase. Like there
Oh,
was
just
nothing
so
on
it
it.
looked like he had something in there, and you know what I mean? Yeah, oh, that's
Yeah,
strange,
yeah.
man.
But but this isn't the first time, right? And just recently, after I've had a few, like for the past 2 years, I've been having these weird UFO sightings they're on my YouTube channel. I'm just posting them, and nobody believes it. They're like, "Oh yeah, right, whatever." But nobody can explain it. Nobody can explain it for the past 3 years. Nobody can explain any one of them I have on there. But just recently, okay, so now I work at night, so I work overnights and I sleep during the day, right? Um, so I'm in bed sleeping, and I'm a real light sleeper. Like if a cat jumps up on my bed, I wake up, right, or whatever.
Yeah.
I hear some kids screaming outside, I wake up. Like it's still light, in my room. Well, I'm sitting there sleeping, and it was like 11, probably 11:20, something like that. Um, I felt like somebody crawled from the bottom of the foot of the bed up to my side, and I was like on my left side, so I was facing the wall, and I'm on the left side of the bed, so the whole right side is open, and I thought my wife came home, for lunch or something, and she was waking me up. And I'm like, okay, cool. Um, so whoever it was, they were like just below my head, on my backside. So I turn around and I look up, and it's this beautiful girl, brunette girl. She was wearing like a flannel shirt, and then she had like this white shirt underneath. She had these blue jeans on, and I'm like, okay, I felt like Seinfeld. I'm like, this is a new one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, hello. And then all of a sudden, she just started rapid firing me questions like, why do you work at night? Why, who's your wife? Like, she said, like, who's the older girl? Who's the young girl? Just rapid fire me all sorts of questions. It was just boom, 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 boom. And I was answering them as fast as I could. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, who the hell are you, right? So then I stopped answering. I stopped answering her questions. I put my hand on her leg, right? I put my hand on her leg. I felt her jeans, okay?
Yeah.
And I thought in my mind, I didn't say it. I thought it. I said, who are you? How did you get in here? Because I know when I came home after dropping my kid off from school, um, I parked in the garage, so there's no way anybody could get in my house. And I thought, who are you? How did you come in here? And all of a sudden, I blacked out. The next thing I know, my alarm was going off to wake up to go to work.
What? So wait,
And I had no idea.
she was sitting behind your pillow? Is that I'm trying to visualize these stories when people tell me, and it's like,
Okay. Okay, so I was laying on my side, right
okay,
side.
on your
So
bed.
she crawled up. Yeah, she crawled up like on my right side. Okay, so I didn't see her until I rolled over. And then when I rolled over, like she was looking at me straight in the face.
And was she laying on the
Like I
bed, or
rolled over on my back.
was she like on her
No, she was
like on her legs and
she
arms
was
and
on her hands
legs,
and
hands and knees? Yeah.
yeah, she was on her hands and knees, like standing above me.
Did you feel her like crawling into the bed?
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
felt the
god,
I felt
dude,
the
I'm
first
getting
push
so
down.
creeped out. I can't even. How do people do this? Like, have
Like,
someone come into your bed or your bedroom for that, and deal with life after this?
I,
It's like, my God.
I don't know. I forgot to mention though, like what the guy said. I forgot to mention from the first story when the guy said that that I'd get married and have a kid. Just
Yeah.
a few months later, I met a girl. We got married and then we adopted our daughter. So we had a daughter.
Right.
So that's the moral of the first story. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. I'm not
No,
a very
that's all
good
right.
storyteller, but yeah, this girl here. I mean, I woke up to feeling the bed pushed down like the first time, and then when I felt it the second and third time, like someone just walking on their hands and knees, going up to me. I'm like, oh, well maybe it's the wife came home early, so maybe I can get some nookie or something before I have to go to work. And I roll over and it's not my wife. I'm like, what?
You get more than Nookie with
I
that
mean,
surprise, dude. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
my God. And you could feel the jeans when you grabbed her leg.
yeah. I mean,
Wow.
I did that just because I've heard many times that if you're in a deep state dream, you can't move your arms or feel anything, right?
Right.
And I wanted to make sure, because I've been after that meeting that dude or whatever, I question a lot of stuff, and I'm like, well, this is my only opportunity to try it. And I mean, I felt her jeans like they were there. I mean, I felt her leg like somebody was there. And like I say, this was during the day. I mean, this wasn't at night, you know. And I don't care how, I've been working overnights for like 20 years. Or how
Right.
much sleep you think you can get during the day, you can't get good sleep,
Yeah.
you know.
Oh, yeah. I know. That's crazy.
Um,
And they're two,
yeah,
they're just two weird stories. Like, they had, you know what I mean? It was just one guy's purpose was to tell you you're going to have a child, for doing, like, nobody does that. And then you have a girl
mm-hmm.
crawling on your bed drilling you questions that you don't even know who she is. It's
Yeah.
such a,
So
yeah.
then I wake up, I'm like, what the hell is that about? You know, it's just crazy. I mean, I have some paranormal stuff happening in the house a lot. Like, eight
Yeah.
out of 10 times it's going on. But every time I try to record it, nothing happens. It's like they know I have cameras set up. Like one night I thought about having the camera set up and I didn't. And that was one of the nights where I heard something fall down the stairs. I mean, loud. It was like a ball falling down, like the cat's dropped or something like that. I mean, it felt like it sounded like somebody. It sounded like somebody fell down the stairs, like kaboom, kaboom, kaboom. I'm like, oh my god, would my kid wake up and fall down the stairs?
Right.
So I jumped out of bed and went down the stairs. There's like nobody there.
Oh, yeah, that's great. And this all started happening with the guy with the briefcase. That was your first ever thing that happened to you, and then everything after that was, you know,
Yeah,
jeez. So he might have had something to do with, like, why you're getting all these visitations from the UFOs. You're seeing them in your yard. You can come on
yeah,
another show. We tell some more stories for that. My God,
yeah,
I won't. I'll
yeah,
never sleep
absolutely.
again. Thanks.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's crazy enough as it is, but I mean, these, especially when nobody can explain it. It's been like when I started recording it, what, 3 years now, or 3 years ago.
Yep.
Um, I did it just because I want to know answers for what I see,
Right.
and I want people to know that hey, this stuff is real. There's a lot of people that ask for money and talk about it and all this stuff, but they don't want to do the research to look into it. And I'm the guy saying, hey, here's the evidence. Look at it. Nobody will even look at it. It's just crazy.
Yeah. They finally
I
get
just I can't
something.
understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
backwards.
people always say, well, there's no evidence out there. yes, there is. You don't want to take the time to look at it. That's the problem.
Right. It's it's because you get so
Yeah.
much stuff out there on the internet that's fake and phony. People just don't want to believe it anymore. It's like it hurts everybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So all I can do is just keep doing what I do, and maybe somebody will catch on eventually. But it's just nuts.
Yeah, just keep telling your stories and getting it out there because eventually somebody's gonna have met that same dude with the briefcase. You know what I mean? You're the first one I've heard of it, but
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody else. You know what I mean? It's like I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'd love to hear, if somebody else has something like that where I mean, this guy knew my name and everything. I mean, I'd love to hear, like, if somebody else came across that same thing where if they met somebody just randomly that they knew their name and, like, knew everything about them. I mean, that's just crazy. But they can't happen every day, but when it happens, you don't forget about it.
Right? Yeah, it's not something you're gonna forget.
Yeah.
My God,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, it's a strange world we live in, dude. I'm
So,
telling you. Yeah.
yeah, for real. Yeah, I want to thank you. And I don't know, I don't know what I can talk about right now, but we can save the other stuff for something else.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing this. Gonna have this for every Sunday. So this will be the first show, and then we'll hopefully we can do it every Sunday and get you back on to. You have to keep, you know what I mean? We'll get you on for one story at a time. We don't want you coming on and telling 5 stories and then because you have a lot to go on.
Right.
Yeah, so we got to have people
I
tuning
know
back in
it's.
every week for something like a cliffhanger.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just gets creepier and creepier, man.
Yeah, it
So
does. I
don't
know.
have
I've
me
heard the
just be the
stories.
only one that calls in. Don't have me just call in by myself all the time and nobody
No,
else call in. That's
we'll
gonna.
get you in for the creepy.
Uh,
Yeah, we'll get you in once a week though, because I know you have enough stories for once a week at least.
yeah, for a
Oh.
while. All right, man.
All right, thanks. Yeah, thanks for calling in. I'll see you on the text and stuff.
All right, awesome. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I'll catch you guys later, and let me know, guys, with the audience. Guys and girls. My YouTube channel is my name, or it's Sightings on 18 Wheels, and I have my email address on there too. If you guys want to contact me personally, tell me about your experience. I mean, I'd love to hear it because I don't know what's going on. I love to hear this stuff, and if you don't want it public, like on this platform or whatever, just feel free to email me. I
Yeah.
really want to know more about it. So
Yeah, that's
I'm not out to make any money on this stuff. I'm just a simple guy that's trying to figure it out. So
yeah. That's sightings on 18 wheels, and it's the number 18, not the spelt
yeah,
out. Okay, so sightings on 18 wheels, and it's all one word. Check that out on
yep,
YouTube, and then on here you're trucking UFOs. Yeah.
yep,
You folks will see him in the chat. He's left some messages in there. You can click on his little thing on there. We just can't get him onto the actual TikTok because he doesn't have 1,000. So let's get him up to 1,000. Come on, so we can get on
yeah.
here.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Cheap Chips. All right, I'll catch you down the road, man.
All right, I'm changing that name. Yeah. All right. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right, bye.